world, let's chat it up. We're talking competitions, uniforms, and all of the above. It's the Cheer Mom, yes, the Cheer Mom podcast. Cheer Mom, yes, the Cheer Mom podcast. Cheer Moms, your podcast is on.
I just got back from another cheer event in the Northeast. It's a whole other world out there. Like, I knew that intellectually, and I know that people who live in the Northeast they're very proud of where they're from. Just there are other pockets in the country. If you're from Texas, if you're from California, I think people in Michigan, there are subcultures in some of these areas where like they're proud of where they're from. And then when they tell people where they're from, there are assumptions made and stereotypes. But for the most part, it's, oh, like you must have this demeanor and a lot of times it's true. But being out there, it's so different from anything I've ever experienced. I lived half my life in California. I lived half my life in Texas. Now I live in Colorado. I've never experienced anything like the Northeast. I don't mean that in a bad way. I don't know how I mean it. It's its own everything. Like they have their own types of food and their roads are different. I'll tell you where else roads are different. Salt Lake City and Utah Metro. What are you guys doing over there? Your roads scare the crap out of me. That's all I have to say. I can't even explain it. If you haven't driven around Salt Lake City and surrounding areas, I can't even explain it. But there are lanes going the wrong direction and crossing over other lanes, and it's scary. And I had a similar experience driving in New Jersey and Pennsylvania, and I think it was less the roads and more my unfamiliarity with it. Not Salt Lake. Salt Lake, you guys, I don't even know what they're doing over there. But I wasn't very familiar, but I found myself like low-key screaming, trying to get on some of the highways in Philadelphia, and I'm like, oh my God, what am I doing? Where am I going? And those big bridges scare me. It's just scary. But I liked the Northeast. And let me tell you something. Cheer parents in the Northeast, they don't play. They don't play. They are serious. They are in it. I've seen more cheer dads involved in the Northeast, I think, than anywhere in the country. They are fans of all-star cheerleading. They are such generous people. Like, they're so generous. They're so nice. They're genuine. And like generous is the word that just keeps coming to mind and how I would describe people in the Northeast. But let me tell you, if you're against a team in the Northeast, look out. Everybody's paying attention. Like when Abby was cheering, it was, at least in our part of the country, like we were looking at teams in California and, oh, this team is in our division. Like they're really good. And wow, that's going to be really tough. We didn't really compete in Texas a lot until later. But we need to be talking more about cheer in the Northeast because they're here and they're, like I said, they do not play. Like, I don't know what they put in the water up there, but those kids are serious and they're competitive and they are talented and they're nice. They are also generous. Anyway, I want to shout out to Molly and her friends at US Cheer Rebels. Like, you guys must have a Cheer Mom podcast group chat because I met so many of you that were like, I listen to the podcast every week, every time it comes out. You're so friendly. So thank you all for listening. Big hello to Jen at New Jersey Premier All-Stars. It was great meeting you, and I just appreciate your encouragement. It's so much fun to meet you guys out at cheer events. I love it. And speaking of cheer moms from New Jersey, today is the guest that you've all been waiting for, that everyone wants to hear from. It's Snooki, everybody. Yeah, like Snooki and we have been DMing on social media and she agreed to come on the podcast and it was so much fun. She is delightful. I felt like I was just talking to An old friend from high school, honestly. If you don't know who Snooki is, her real name is Nicole Puli. Her married name, I believe, is Laval. I hope I'm saying that right. She has been in the pop culture orbit atmosphere for over 2 decades now. Sorry, Nicole, I'm not trying to make you look old, but she has been in my orbit as far as pop culture for so long. I feel like we grew up together. She's best known for her participation in the reality show called The Jersey Shore. She has gone on to do many things, including but not limited to opening her own retail shops. She has a podcast and she's wrestled in a WWE match. Like, she has done so many cool things. And I did not know this, but she has basically cheered her whole life. And now she's a mom and her daughter is quite a talented cheer athlete herself. So I wanted to talk to her about what it's like to be a public figure in all-star cheerleading. There are not very many of them. It's such a small industry. It's such a niche industry. And I had to imagine that it's not easy to be in this world and be a recognizable figure like she is. And I wanted her take on being a cheer mom, and she even gives advice to us cheer moms. And if you are a fan, talk about what to do and what not to do if you see her at a cheer competition. So here we go, everybody. It's Snooki. Have you ever met someone with a tattoo and asked them why they chose that specific tattoo? They probably had a story about how it's significant to them. I have 3 tattoos and they all have a very deep and meaningful significance to me. And every time someone comments on one, I'm like, thanks. And then I give them like a 5-minute explanation about why it's important to me. Even if tattoos aren't your thing, I think that we all need little encouragements and things that are specific to us that remind us of the things we love most and the words that motivate us to keep going. And that's why I started TCC Jewelry. The necklaces, bracelets, and rings are simple and engraved with little words that have special meaning, like hit 0, 2 minutes and 30 seconds, 1, 3, 5, 7, and more. And check out the new collections like the Faith Collection and introducing the Dance Collection, baseball, softball, and volleyball collections. Get something special for yourself or that special athlete or coach in your life today by visiting tccjewelry.com and enter coupon code CheerMomPod for 15% off your order. That's tccjewelry.com and enter coupon code CheerMomPod for 15% off. This episode of the Cheer Mom Podcast is brought to you by all of our new favorite sock company, Apollo. You may have seen them at a recent cheer event, and they are changing the game for cheer athletes, coaches, and even cheer moms. Listen to more of the episode to learn more and find out how you can get 10% off of your order. Of all, welcome. Thank you for joining me.
Of course.
I know that a lot of cheer moms have been wanting to hear from you as a cheer mom, like from a cheer perspective. So I'm really excited for this conversation and appreciate you taking the time.
Of course, yes. I found you on social media and I just thought your stuff was amazing. And I love how like the cheer community is becoming like a thing finally, especially with us moms. So I love that we can all just
Yes.
get together and talk about it.
Yeah, I love that. I love it. I love how we
Yeah.
can, yeah, we know that we're not alone finally. Because I think so many cheer moms think that like they're the only ones who struggle with things that we all struggle with or don't
Mhm.
know things that they think that they're the only ones who don't know what a bid is when they first start and, how NCA works. Well, and it's sore subject. How big
Yeah.
competitions work. Yeah, it's been really exciting and it's such a gift to have a community of moms who look to me and I'm so grateful. Okay, so I want to throw you it's just a little bit of a curveball before we really get into it.
Yeah.
Do you have an opinion on why people think that cheer moms are crazy?
I am crazy.
You just
But
own it.
well, I just feel like we get associated with dance moms a lot. And when dance moms came on that show, it was just it's a reality show. So, of course, there's going to be drama, there's going to be people crazy. So, I feel like we get the rep because of that, because
Mm.
it is very similar, but like totally different in different ways. But I am crazy. I'm not going to say I'm not. Like, I grew up cheerleading my entire life, and then my daughter finally loved it. And it's a lot of commitment, it's a lot of hours. I don't know if you wanted to say we're not, but we
No, I think there was like one mom who in the 90s like put a hit out on someone who like made the team instead of her daughter and so people like take that and run with it. But I have given the same answer that like you football moms get 4 quarters to for your kids to be able to prove that they're
Mm.
exceptional and ours get 2 minutes and 30 seconds and that's
Yeah.
very emotional and that's there is so much emotion and there is so much involvement and you do put your whole self into it.
Mm.
It's all consuming and so it might come off as quote unquote crazy, but we're
Yeah.
just that dedicated and into it and we can hold our breath for 2 minutes and 30 seconds because that's all they've got. So just
Well, I would say
curious and
speak from I'm a mom of everything. So I'm a wrestling mom, I'm a football mom, I'm a baseball mom, cheer mom. So I'm like all the moms that I see like different levels of like excitement and how people are. So football moms, we're the same. We're screaming, we're yelling, let's go. Wrestling is more intense to where like you don't want your kid to break their arm and it's like they're fighting for their life. So that's like another level of screaming and oh my God, let's go. And then baseball is the easiest. You're just watching your kid hit a ball, run around the bases. I'm like drinking like a cocktail outside.
yeah.
Baseball is like the calmest for me as a mom. But cheer, yeah, cheer, you only get one chance or two chances. And it's a gamble with any sport. But like they're gonna hit the routine one day, then the next day they're freaking dropping all the stunts and then they drop from first to last. So cheerleading gives me the most anxiety and I definitely scream the loudest and cheer just because everybody else is screaming. So it doesn't look like I'm psycho at like the baseball game screaming like that. Yeah,
Well, I
I'm
know that
all
like
I'm every
football moms
super
can scream
sports
pretty
mom.
loud too.
Yeah. Yeah. So I feel like a lot all sports moms are crazy in their own way.
We just love our kids so much. And
Exactly.
I want to say that I think when people picture of a cheer mom, they think of like a southern, mostly Texas mom, the big
Yeah.
hair and all of that. And I just came back from New Jersey and I've done several events in the Northeast. And I'm here to say that you guys have been sleeping on Northeast cheer moms. Like they're the ones
Yeah.
who have got it going on. The best hair, best high ponies, best spirit, most bling. The
Yeah.
bling is all blinging. There is a lot of heart up there that I think people don't realize.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like before I put Giovanna in cheer, because I did All Star for 2 years when I was on an open team, but it was just like All Star was just like becoming like a thing, and that's what you do after you graduate. Like you still want to cheer, so you go to All Star. But until I had Giovanna and signed her up and got back into the cheer world of All Star, you would think that okay, All Star cheerleading. I think of Kentucky, I think of all those states and the big
Mhm.
hair, and that's like where cheerleading is, and you want to go there for cheer. But now, yeah, I would say we're killing it up here. especially Jersey. They have amazing gyms here, great coaches. The athletes are insane. So I feel like Jersey's really coming through and New York and Pennsylvania.
Yeah,
We're coming
totally.
through
There's some
this year.
great cheerleading up there.
Yeah.
A lot of great cheerleading. Okay, so you mentioned All-Star and you being a cheer. So let's go there. So did you
Sure.
cheer in high school? Like, how did you first find cheerleading and get started in it?
So my mom signed me up for competitive gymnastics at 3 years old. So I was doing that up until 12, 13. And I was just like, this is so hard. It's just myself. And like people relied on me to go to all these state competitions and I wasn't great. And I just felt all this pressure. And I was just like, I don't like this anymore. This is not fun for me. It feels like torture. So I ended up quitting gymnastics and I started cheerleading. So I was like, okay, I can tumble. I feel like I could fly because I have great balance. I did beam for so many years. I was like, I feel like cheerleading is gonna like just be so easy for me. So I cheered. I started sixth grade, just like school cheering, sixth grade up until high school. And I was my captain of the cheer squad. And back then, it was just like the coaches didn't know what they were doing for high school cheer. So I was making the music, I was editing the music and like making up the routines, choreography. I literally did it all because I was just so obsessed with it and I loved it and it was so much fun. So I did all of that. And then I graduated and I'm like, oh my God, like I'm missing such a big part of me. I hate this. I will go to like random tumbling classes just to do stuff or throw something. And then I think I was 19, 18 or 19. There was like a gym that was like 45 minutes away from me in upstate New York called Cheer Jams. I'm pretty sure they're not open anymore. But I went there and I tried out for an open team and I did that until I was 20. And then, yeah, that's when I applied for the show. And then the rest is history.
The rest is history, and you took a path that you probably didn't ever expect. Am I right?
I always wanted to do reality, so I thought it was just going to be like a one thing, not like my whole career in life. But even the first season of the show, I was like I was meeting guys that were stunting and they were cheerleaders and I was doing like one man's on the boardwalk. They never showed it because it was like with off-duty cops. But I was like still trying to cheer on the first
Of course.
season. I was like, oh, I miss it. So yeah, cheer literally has been my entire life.
This episode of the Cheer Mom podcast is brought to you by Apollo Performance Socks. As a longtime seasoned cheer mom, I have seen firsthand how demanding this sport can be on young athletes' bodies, especially their feet and ankles. Enter Apollo Performance Socks. These socks are seriously a game changer. The targeted support and compression have made a world of difference, not just for athletes, but for me, I'm not an athlete. It literally feels like a hug for your feet. I had a cheer mom tell me it feels like these socks were licked onto my feet by kittens. Apollo Performance Socks help athletes to practice longer, recover faster, and focus on performance instead of pain. If your cheer athlete is dealing with foot or ankle issues, I highly recommend giving Apollo socks a try. Visit apolloperformance.com and use code CHEERMOM2024 for 10% off of your order. That's Apollo, APOLLA, performance.com and enter code CHEERMOM2024. Okay, so fast forward, you start having kids. I found an old YouTube video, like you took Giovanna to the gym like before she could even walk. Have you always wanted to be a cheer mom? Did you always want to have a daughter who had a love for cheerleading like you do?
Yeah, it was goals. When I found out I was going to have a daughter, I was like, oh my God, like I really hope she wants to be cheerleading and she wants to do cheer and she just loves it and I don't have to force her because I would never force her. So I started to bring her to CJA like really early. I Googled like gyms near me and CJA came up and then I met Patty Ann. Yeah, I threw Giovanna into like little classes to introduce her at 2 years old. She couldn't really start until she got out of diapers. So she really started classes at three and a half, 4. Just like your introduction, tumble classes, forward roll, stretching. So she's been in that program. She's 10 now. She's been with CJA since she was 4.
Wow. So when did she really latch on to competitive cheer and start growing a love for it?
I think when she was on her baby prep team, her mini
Oh my
team,
gosh.
yeah, she loved it right away. She loved it
That's
right
so
away,
cute.
and I never had to be like, "Honey, just go and try, see
Just
if you
try.
love
Yeah.
it," just because I wanted her to do it. But no, she always had a love for it. I have to say this year was probably the first year that she was like, "Mom, I don't know," because she moved up 2 levels, and it's very hard, and she's 10, so I don't think she was ready for it, but she loves it. She just wasn't ready for everything to be, like, so advanced now.
And remind me, what division level is she on?
This year, she's small junior level 5. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so she got her
Okay.
purple, she's doing all the stunts, she's killing it. But
That's
before
amazing.
she
And
was
they just,
killing it, she was like, "Mommy, this is so hard, I can't do
it is
this."
at that level, yeah, it
Yeah.
gets really intense. Like it
Mhm.
can still be fun, but
Like, it's
it's
a lot.
a whole
Hard
new
work.
game. Wow. Okay. So she's 10. She's been doing it basically since birth. Have you ever had a stereotypical or quintessential like cheer mom moment where we all have those moments where it's that's not fair or where we really want to advocate for our kids? I think that happens in any sport, but specific to cheer, has that ever happened to you?
Like, with the coaches?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I knew I was gonna have, like, that cheer mom Karen moment with the coaches, and that happened, oh my god, when was that? I wanna say, like, 4 years ago? I think she was on level 2 or 3. No, she was 2 or level 1. I don't remember. I wanna say level 2, and I just felt like she deserved just, like, a pat on the back or something because she was, like, really putting in work, and I ended up, like, texting the coaches, and then it got into this big thing, and I ended up sending flowers to the coaches the next day. I was like, "You know what? It was bound to happen. I'm so sorry. It was bound for me to have a Karen mom cheer moment, and I got it out, and that's it." And ever since then, we laugh about it, and they're like, "You're crazy." I'm like, "I know." But now it's just like a great communication. We understand each other. I get it. They get it. But yeah, I had a moment where like I thought she was gonna get kicked off the team because of me.
Oh, at least you like owned it and sent flowers. I
I
think
felt
that
horrible the next day. I was like, girl, calm down. Just cheer. Your kid's having a great time. Like everyone's fine. So yeah, I woke up and I felt like crap and I ordered them huge bouquet of flowers. And I literally wrote on the card, sorry, I was a cheer mom. Yeah, I had to apologize because I felt awful.
that's amazing. I love it. So, for how loud do you say you scream? And it's very clear and very obvious that you are your
Psycho.
daughter's biggest fan. But from what I've noticed and from what people have told me who've been at the same events, is you keep a relatively low profile at cheer events. Does that pose a challenge for you?
No, because everywhere I go, it's like that. And people are always asking for pictures and everything. And I love meeting my fans because I feel like they think we're best friends. And I get it because I watch some reality shows and I love them. So I get what they're saying. But yeah, but I definitely, for cheer competitions, I want to be just a cheer mom. I want to just be there for my daughter, be with other cheer mom friends, and just like cheer on our kids and love the moment and experience it. And when we started to go to the big competitions where there was over like 2,000 people, I would wear a mask and I would put like my cap all the way down and I would try and hide myself. But then people realized I was in a mask trying to hide. So I was like stuck out like a sore thumb. So then I was like, whatever, like I'll just deal with it and I'll ride with it. And honestly, it's not that bad. I feel like cheer moms are starting to realize like I'm just a cheer mom also. So it's not as crazy. But yeah, it's something.
So, what steps do you take to be present, not just with Giovanna and Cheer, but with all your kids in their sports?
I think it's just like the understanding of different parents. And now I feel like Giovanna, she's starting to get to the point where if I'm walking around with her at a cheer comp and I keep getting stopped for pictures, she gets mad at me. She's, Mom, tell them no, this is your time with me. And I'm like, but honey, like I can't be mean to my fans also. So I'm trying to figure out how to deal with that because I don't want her stressed out at the competition dealing with me, meeting people and taking pictures. So I'm trying to figure out how to do that because I don't like saying no to people. And I feel like when I do say no to people, I'm on all the cheer mom pages. They're just like saying how I'm a bitch and I'm mean and I'm saying no to the pictures. But like at the same time, my daughter, wants me here for her. So I'm trying to figure out the fine line with that. So I would say I try and say yes to everyone because I get it and I understand and I love meeting everyone and doing all the pictures. But the only time that I'll really say no and might come off a little rude is if when my daughter's about to perform and I'm waiting on deck and when she's coming
That's the
off the
worst
mat.
time for a cheer
The
mom.
worst
Like,
time. I'm like, I'm
that's
so
the
sorry.
worst.
No, I can't do this right now. I'm just a cheer
Like, I
mom.
feel like I'm
Thank
going to
you.
throw up.
Literally, I'm like, I have a ball of anxiety. I'm freaking out. I cannot take a picture.
Yes.
Like, people just
Yes.
get so offended, but I'm just like you guys. Like, I am freaking out. And like when my daughter's off the mat, I feel like that's when there's a lot of line of people asking for pictures. And I'm like, no, my daughter
Oh.
just performed. I'm living in this moment. Please, no. So if you guys want to take pictures with me, make sure it's not around my child performing because I will 100% say no before she goes on and after she goes because that's when
So
I grab her. When I grab
nowhere
her
near
and
the
we celebrate.
VIP section. Yes. No,
Yeah.
nowhere near the VIP
So I
section.
feel like
Nowhere near the, yeah.
that's when a lot of people wait for the pictures is after she gets
Mm.
off the mat. And I'm sorry, I can't. I got to be in the moment with her and bring her back to the team room and get her fed. And I got to be mom.
Okay. Did everyone hear that? Write it down. Maybe we'll play it over
Yeah.
again.
But any other
And
time, if we're just walking, you could say hello. But that's my time.
so does some of that bleed over into Giovanna? Do people want to take pictures with her too? Because you're
Yeah.
so good at promoting her and showing people what a great athlete she is. Is she getting some of that attention too?
She is. It's really cute because she's 10. She's on level 5. So I feel like a lot of the littles are look up to her and follow her. So I'm seeing, especially this year, a lot of the younger athletes coming up to her and saying, Giovanna, I follow you. And they're like children. They're like 6, 7, 8. And they're just
Yeah.
like, you're awesome. I follow you. And I'm crying. I'm like, I told you, you're a good role model, honey. These kids are looking up to you. You're a hard worker. They want to be just like you. And she stops and takes pictures and she's very nice. But it's just so full circle, and I'm so proud of her, and I love that she can do that for the younger athletes because it's great to look up to someone.
Do you ever take your boys to cheer competitions?
It's so hard, and it's only me and Giovanna traveling because my son wrestles, and then my little one is just a maniac, so it'd be so hard to bring him everywhere. So usually the only competition they really come to is like the locals or Summit, and they only come just to
Okay.
watch her and they leave. They don't stay all day.
Yeah. Yeah. My son is always, he never liked going to them. I think he came to 3 in 10 years and he's like, why does it sound like video games all over the place?
Yeah.
This is
They're
too
like, why
much.
is everyone screaming so loud? I'm like, you just don't get it.
Why are
Yes.
girls with big hair just like laying on the floor?
Yeah, they don't get it.
A lot of waiting, a lot of angst. It's just so
Mhm.
emotionally charged at a cheer event. So, what advice, now that you've been in it for a while and you've seen the industry kind of change and grow over the years, what advice would you give to cheer moms?
Advice. I don't know because I'm still looking for advice.
What have you
Um,
learned over the years then?
about cheer.
Yeah, or
Um,
about being a cheer mom.
personally, for me, I had to get into the groove of making sure my daughter was okay. Like she wasn't freaking out. Like I did everything to calm her nerves and make sure she wasn't stressed about anything on competition day. And I feel like it's getting worse now because she's like preteen. So it's just like getting nastier and nastier. But I'm like, what do you need? What do you want me to order in the morning? Let me do your hair tonight so I don't have to stress you out about waking up early in the morning. So I think it's just like trying to get her routine down so she's not stressed about anything for comp day. So now I've realized, like, even if we have to be there at 9:30, 10, which is like the meet time, which is amazing. And it's not like 7:30. I'm just going to continue to put her hair up in a pony at night. She's on her phone, she's sleeping, and I'm just curling her hair and setting it. I'm curling it so when she wakes up, even if we have 3 hours to kill, I don't want to stress her out with sitting and getting her hair done. So I'm just like doing the most I can the night before. So like ordering the breakfast in the morning, making sure everything's laid out, making sure her makeup's all in line because now she likes to do her makeup. So the biggest thing is her hair because I have such thick hair. My husband, so curling her hair literally takes me an hour and a half. And especially to
Mhm.
get the cute curls and get all the flyaways and everything, it takes a while to do her hair. So I'm just trying to get her schedule perfect to where she's not nasty or freaking out or in a bad mood the morning of comp. Because I can't deal.
The bad mood, none of
I
us
can't
can. The
deal.
bad mood, I
Yeah.
hate to tell you, it gets worse before it gets better.
I'm sure. Yeah, it is. It's getting worse every single year. But I get it. I was a girl. I understand. Can't take it personally. It's just hormones.
And yeah, and they don't know how to process anxiety and nerves and all of that. We're all, see, guys, we're all in the same boat. We're all dealing with the same
Literally.
attitudes in the
Yeah.
morning. And then that crash afterward when their adrenaline crashes and the pixie sticks don't work anymore. It's a whole thing. It's a whole mood. Okay, so you talk about open teams. There's still open teams. Is there an open team in your future?
Oh my God, no. The last time I did a round off tuck was probably 5 years ago, and I couldn't walk. And it
Still
was on the
5
tumble
years?
track. It was on the tumble track. I couldn't walk for a good week. I felt like I got into a car accident. But the last time I really stunted was with CJA, and that was, I feel like when I brought my daughter to introduce her, or she just started tumbling. I think she was like 4 or 5. It was when the last time I really stunted. So I cannot do an open team.
Cannot.
Maybe if I like started stretching and was like started working out and doing that, I could probably pull it off. But I'm old. My body feels old.
You could start a parent team and then just do
I
like
would love to
basic
do a
things.
parent team.
I think you'd be good at that. If you were
I would love that.
choreographing and doing music back in the day, imagine what you could do.
Oh.
A parent team.
It would be phenomenal. I would be living my dream again.
Thank you so much for joining me and for having this conversation. I know that you are widely adored, not just in the cheer world, but among moms, people everywhere. And thank you for the positive attention that you've brought to the sport and the cheer community. And we just appreciate you taking the time and taking selfies, but not near the competition stage, everybody.
Yeah.
Just outside.
Yeah.
Let it be with a girl.
Yeah, thank you so much. I love all you cheer moms. We're all in the same boat. And yeah, we just love our kids and they're killing it.
What up, party people? This is Jason Larkins, host of the Let's Talk Cheer podcast, and I've teamed up with Kristen Wheeler of the Cheer Mom podcast and Dan Cotton of the Cheer Biz podcast.
That's right. Hey, everybody, Kristen here. We know that you love cheer, so why not dive into more perspectives? Tune into my podcast, the Cheer Mom podcast, for cheer issues spoken from the parent's perspective. Then head over to Dan's podcast, the Cheer Biz podcast, to learn from a gym owner on how to run a successful cheer business. And of course, don't miss the Let's Talk Cheer podcast featuring Jason Larkins, the one that we all know and love, where they talk about cheer from a coach's perspective.
Which means whether you're a coach, a cheer parent, or a gym owner, we've got you covered. Find all 3 podcasts on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, and stay tuned for new episodes each week.